Hello, my celestial beings. This is Mystic Storm here to clear the path to a new life with you. I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, evening, whenever you're catching this. And this right here, we're going to talk about Mars retrograde. Okay? Mars retrograde. And I usually don't talk about this particular retrograde, but we can talk a little bit about Mars energy, and you can understand that my reasonings on doing this. You know, Mars has to do with action, passion, war. Okay, it could very, very fiery, very leader esque. Okay, this is also giving me, emperor vibes, Aries energy, like the first one to do it. Like, you're not worrying about, like, you waiting to see who doing this, who doing that. You following your own calling and you stepping forth and you doing it. Okay, definitely masculine energy. And the reason why I was so called to do this because this is the prime season. I always say prime, but this I've been noticing that like the divine masculines, like masculines that show up in, human form. How masculine energy shows up in human form. So like a male, they are more susceptible now to healing. And then now all of us, male or female, in the species, but I identify as a woman, so I don't like being called a female. So, just being honest, but we're talking species, okay? So, as a woman too, if you are a woman, a goddess, embracing that masculine energy as well as if a man, a male, you have to also maybe re reevaluate how your energy is, your masculine energy is, and you may need to fine tune it. Same with women, and it can be either way. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean that you operate solely in your feminine energy. You may be hyper masculine energy, and it's time for you to reevaluate and tame that down, or you're operating too much in your feminine, and you're needing to amp it up. Same for a man. A man can be operating more in his feminine. And it's time, to balance that out. We all it's we all have different, you know, um, energies that we're working with as far as we may be on the other side of the spectrum. So it's not just cookie cutter. Okay. So we're gonna look at the chart. We're gonna pull some cards. I will suggest too that um, you look at your birth chart or a transit chart to see where Mars retrograde is functioning within your birth chart. Like for me, the Mars retrograde is happening in Gemini. I am a Gemini rising, so it is happening in my first house. So when it comes to taking action, when it comes to getting work done or putting myself out there, that's going to be a part of my appearance, a part of my approach to life. Is transforming this because my Mars is in the eighth house. Let's see. Yep, my natal chart Mars. Let me see, am I looking at this right now? It's the wrong chart. Wrong. Let me get that. Yeah, my natal chart Mars. I think maybe no. It's in the no. It's in the eighth house. It's in the eighth house. Yeah. So we're transforming that. So yeah, if you want to dive deeper into like your transit and realizing how this Mars retrograde can work in your benefit and not your detriment, make sure you hit me up at Mystic Storm. I'm sorry, msbotanica.com, or follow me on different platforms, Mystic Storm 333. Okay. All right, this is just the regular chart, not doing the transit right now. All right, so Mars retrograde begins. We probably have been in the shadow period because I already feel this energy coming as far as like maybe having more energy pop up or more irritation, like inflamed, where it might be a lot of like impulses or altercations or miscommunications, especially with Mars being in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is about communication, it's about the mind, it's about siblings. So it might be a lot of tension, a lot of clashing, going on at this time around this area, but it's not necessarily, like, oh, it's all bad. Like, no, it's here. Maybe, like, for an example, maybe you don't have the best relationship with your siblings, and something happens to where you have to speak up and you have to talk about things, and they might not take it, be subcepting, or you can tell it's a retrograde because even though, cause I'm like with this Mercury, I'm like, and it's not Mercury retrograde, but Mars retrograde is in the sign of Gemini, which the planetary ruler of that is Mercury. Okay, hope that made sense. So yeah, so it might be a lot of tension when it comes to that. Yeah, it's going to be amped up because um Mars retrograde is in the eighth house, just looking at it planetarily, and it is squared off with Neptune retrograde and Jupiter retrograde. So it might be, yeah, think about Jupiter, everything is expanded, everything. So if things may be drawn out or brought up um, heavily for no reason, or like a simple disagreement is like in a span of time it could be a whole week. Like things can go from 0 to 100 real quick. Okay, and I feel like it's to address a lot of things, how we communicate, how we show up for different siblings, our social groups, people around us, our community, like all those things. And I think also we have to think about with the mind too. Our mind also can, yes, play tricks on us with Jupiter in the sign. Yeah, Jupiter and Neptune retrogrades. They're in Pisces. So that's trickster kind of energy, illusions. So the mind can, you might see something and you might create a whole story in your mind, and that might not necessarily be the case when it comes to this certain disagreement, or things like that. So I would say be mindful for sure with that. And then we have Mars, but it is trine with Mercury. We talk about Mercury in the 12th house in Scorpio. So again, it's transforming the way we speak to people, how we speak to ourselves. We might be overly critical of ourselves, overly judgmental of others. We may put ourselves in a box thinking that we can't go to this certain event, or we can't show up in this type of space. So it's really like changing how we operate when it comes to showing up, like for our work ethic, our drive, our motivation. Like it's really opening us up and challenging us to harness this fiery, passionate energy to our betterment. Like we can use it to destroy, and yes, destruction is good in some spaces because it's necessary, but are we using that destructive energy in order to bring harmony into our lives, or are we just wreaking havoc just to wreak havoc? Like if it's causing harmony, like you being destructive, you shutting stuff down because you creating boundaries for yourself out of love, that's different from you just being messy and you just trying to stir the pot type thing, being petty, a petty labelle, you know. thinking about that, it's like, how are you going? Because as a magician, I was gonna say musician. I always get that mixed up. But as a magician, as an alchemist, as an energy worker, you know, you can. It's neither magic isn't good or bad. It's the intent of the person. What's your intent at this time? What is your intent? Okay. I'm hearing you can start pulling. I'm about to. Okay, we got Knight of Pentacles in reverse, Ace of Wands in reverse, we got Three of Cups in reverse, and then I'm gonna do one more. Wheel of Fortune with Death in reverse at the base. Okay, letting go. We're holding on to the old ways of ourselves, and I feel like if you have not seen Death to the Old Self, I feel one of my readings that I did for the Aries full moon. Okay, I would suggest you watch that because Aries energy is very prominent in this because Mars, the zodiac ruler, is Aries. Okay, so with everything here in reverse, I feel like when it has to come to like, putting ourselves out there, work ethic, transforming, how we look at these things, how we communicate, how we network, right? Um, I feel like it's time. The retrogrades, the planets are slowing down, at their normal speed. So as we look at it from Earth, it looks like the planet is going backwards, but in reality, it's just slowed down. So I feel like um, at this time, you may have an amped up energy to do certain things to go ahead and knock these things out. Yes, I would say definitely go for it. But at the same time, I'm hearing not all money is good money. Not everything you put yourself out for is something that's going to render results or render prosperity, but I feel like you are put into those spaces in order to realize what's for you and what's not. And in that, it depends on like how are you going to use that. Are you going to um, get upset about it? Are you going to, do other things? You're gonna just do boundaries. Boundaries. Like, this is not what I want to subscribe to. This is not the type of environment I want to put myself in, as far as for this, like maybe for a business. But hey, we can turn up. Like, I can come up here for another thing. It's given like, just slow down. I know we're gonna have that energy. It's not saying don't do it, but don't do it in the sense of always expecting that you're going to get what it is that you want out of it. Okay? Ace of Wands in reverse is how are you showing up for your passions, for your desires? Okay? How are you making sure that you etch out time, that you're making it a priority? How are you showing that you can definitely receive as well as give? Okay, with the Three of Cups in reverse. And knowing that, hey, with all this that's happening, these lessons, this topsy-turviness, this amped up energy that we're feeling, it is all faded. It is all here for us to take advantage of it. We have the Wheel of Fortune here. And it's just to take hold, knowing, being focused, being driven, and also being patient with ourselves through this process. That's what's going to get us to the next level. Definitely, definitely, definitely patience. Having that focus, but knowing that we don't have to jump at every opportunity. We don't have to speak on every battle. We don't have to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, and or if we find ourselves in uncomfortable situations, we don't have to pop off, because now as we are elevating, now that we are, reaping the harvest of everything that we have called into our lives, the more that we put ourselves out there, that's also going to be how people view you, your reputation. Okay? So, is this how you want to show up? A lot of times we have more to lose as the more we grow, right? But at the same time, yes, being authentic to yourself is paramount. But in the same breath, you need to know how to maneuver with these energies. Okay? Not letting the energies take over you, you working with the energy. Okay? Yeah, the star. Having hope, having faith, and yeah, yep. I'm like, yeah, yep, yep, and I'm taking the base, because yeah. So yeah, having faith, having hope that these changes that are happening in your life are going to put you on a path that is more driven, more focused. It's going to definitely get you out of victim mentality, feeling like you're trapped, feeling like you are boxed in, like the sky is the limit. I do want to put attention to, especially with the Aquarius card, because the star card is the Aquarius, but then also with this trapped feeling outside of the box, we do have Saturn in Aquarius in the third house, squared off with Uranus in Taurus in the sixth house. Okay, third house energy has to do with that mind, communication, that Gemini energy that we're already working with Mars. And then we have Taurus energy, what it has to do with self-worth, self-value, money. But then we got the sixth house that has to do with health, fitness, our service, our work habits, organization. So making sure that sixth house energy here has to do with Virgo. So there might be a lot of procrastination. There might be a lot of second guessing due to just trying to be perfect, trying to show up as this, I don't know, like I feel like a porcelain doll, or like as white as snow. But we all have, the more work you put in, the more the more dirty your hands get. The more, if you walking in that snow, it's gonna be like a little slushy. You might even have some black ice that you might slip on, and you gotta realize, like, yo, like, just because I can't see this or other people can't see this doesn't mean that it's not here. All right, then not to use caution. So it's just like, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid um, to show up. It's like, yeah, you showing up. Yeah, you got your reputation on the line. But at the same time, it's just like, you here. You don't. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. Okay. So yeah, it's getting out of that mindset, releasing all of these limiting beliefs, making sure that you are not playing the victim, making sure that you are owning up for yourself, and you're taking responsibility of your own mind, of your own reactions, and how you show up, and how you use this energy to elevate your self-worth and yourself, and just yourself in general, so that way you can continue to be focused and driven and move. Okay, with this Four of Wands in reverse, this is the question is, how are you showing up for your wins, or how are you acknowledging your wins? Are you are you just winning, or you out here doing things and you're not being in a state of gratitude, acknowledging how far you've come? Or are you sitting here just like, I have to do more, I have to do more, I have to do this, I have to do this, really being hard on yourself? This energy can have you like that for sure, but I feel like when you get to that spot, like making sure that you show gratitude, show mercy to yourself. Like, you've definitely conquered and fulfilled a lot of your manifestations. I'm also getting prophecies, for sure. Wheel of Fortune has to do with like prophecies, what has been written in your life. Like, a lot of times we feel like, okay, we just probably just walking aimlessly on this earth, and even the people that don't believe in this, they think that they walking aimlessly. Like, it's not by chance. This was already prophesied over your life. So knowing that that all of this is happening, and in the midst of this, you might get caught up in constructive or being self-critical, doing a lot of self-sabotage, doing these things that probably have got you to where you are now, and probably helped you out, because if you think this way, you like, all right, at least I know, I'm thinking of the worst case scenario, so I'm ready for anything. You don't have to always be on guard. You don't have to always be on guard, but you can be at peace. You can be at peace knowing that you protected. You can be at peace knowing that every move that you make is a move that is going to get you to the most highest and best version of yourself. As long as you attune to that, as long as you tap into that. And I feel like, and if you hear, then you already doing that, so it's nothing to worry about. Okay? But taking that step forward, making those moves, having that heightened sense of awareness to keep going. I think that is the goal. That is the goal. Yes, we've already endured a lot, but that was the initiation. That was the initiation to get us to where we are now, to know that we can endure, and know that, these next few months, as we're in Mars retrograde until January 23rd, and then also 2 weeks after for like the shadow period, taking this step into transforming our minds and transforming how we view life, and how we view ourselves, and how we view our relationships and dynamics that we have, is definitely going to play a huge part in this. A lot of people are going to have to, talk it out, fight it out, but in war, it can be a spiritual warfare. It can be so just be mindful, stay protected. Know that you are protected, but also stay protected. Like, instead of like doing revenge, like going out and hexing somebody up, just do protection on yourself. Doing things like that. But again, it's like, which side you gonna choose? And everybody has their part to play. Everybody has their, free will and all those things. So I can't even tell you to like not hex somebody up, because that might just be in what you got to do. Hey, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, because maybe there's lessons for you to learn in that. Okay? Hey. All right? So I want to say the moon here, this is the start of Mars retrograde. The moon is in Capricorn in the second house. You know, that's Taurus energy, Venus energy. So loving on ourselves, knowing our worth, rising up to the occasion with that Capricorn energy. You know, this is sextile the with Venus and the Sun, and then it's also trine with Uranus retrograde in Taurus. Okay, so this is a prime time. This is a good time for us to heal, a time for us to go within, a time for us to reflect and kind of let our light shine and know that what it is, whatever work we are called to doing, that it is for us, and that we can work on getting clarity to think of innovative ways to keep going. Again, you've already looked at probably all the things. It's just a matter of just knowing that you can do it and simply doing it. Okay, it's like, yeah, with the Six of Pentacles, you know, you probably you're receiving downloads, you're receiving all this information, or you might be on the other side where you're giving your all, you're giving all of this, and it's not a lot of balance here. You have to get in a state of flow. You have to get in a state of flow with this Mars retrograde energy. Yes, we're going out and asserting ourselves, but we also making sure that we are receiving a good energy exchange. Energy is currency. Energy is currency. And I feel like with this Mars retrograde, I'm hearing the more you fuck around, the more you find out. So that can be in any occasion. You can fuck around and, you know, you might be called to read or do something, or go out and start your creative project, or devote more time toward your creative project. The more you fuck around with that, the more you find out, like, hey, this is really for me. Or it can go the opposite way. You can realize, like, you can go downward, and it's like, okay, the more you subscribe to this low vibrational energy, the more you find out that, hey, that this isn't really for me, and I should just let this go. But really, in a sense of it's going negatively, it's like what you subscribe to is your reality. So if you believe you can't do it, you can't do it. But if you believe you can do it, you can do it. It's part of changing the perspective, changing the energy, changing the narrative, changing the story. Okay? What do you choose? What are you aligning to? Okay? All right. I'm going to, let's see. I was looking at, I'm going to do some oracles. Probably do a few, and then we're going to close this thing out. Okay? We're going to get into the Black Moon astrology cards. Alright, we got the fire element, desire. Mars is all about the fire. That's the fire element for Mars. Is the element of fire. Is desire. What is your desire? What is your passion? Harness your energy with that. Wow. Mercury, the mind, third house. Mars is in Gemini, which is Mercury, how I said that, third house. The mind. Aligning your mind to your desires. The sun, spirit, and owning that, right? And owning that, integrating that into your spirit, and letting that light in you be brought out and used in spaces that will benefit you and others. Okay? Believe that you can achieve, okay, with this Pisces energy. Okay? And then we have Saturn, truth. Saturn, truth. truth is the mind is a beast. But it's how you tame that beast. It's how you work with that beast. It's how you love that beast. Okay? Not letting the cycles define you. Knowing when to take a step back and to reassess and come back better than ever. Is to know that we play a part. As much as we want to, put everything, or cast the blame or say all these things, we do play a part in this energy. This energy is here to help us, and this energy, but you can get slipped up in it. This is also giving me like the trickster vibe. Eshu, maybe working with Eshu at this time may be beneficial, for sure. And look, at the base of the deck we have the Grand Trine, blessings. This time is going to bless us with the knowledge to know that we're more powerful than we think. We are more powerful than we think. I'm going to do the heal yourself. Inner child. So these, you might have triggers when it comes to the inner child. This is probably when you're putting yourself out there, as far as like having that confidence, having that drive, making sure that you are in alignment. That inner child might be triggered during this time, especially when people try you. So making sure you take care of yourself, that you love on the inner child as you're going through these processes, and tending to that will definitely help. The frog energy is here. Frogs are all about like taking the leap. Let's look at frog. Let's look at the frog like spirit animal. What do I have to do it? Spirit animal, spiritual meaning. Let's see. Frog symbolism meaning fertility, potential, transformation, purity, prosperity, and good luck. Okay, so yeah, what's really standing out to me is the potential. Fertility, yes, because meaning you're like fertile, meaning that you can plant your seeds, you can manifest, you can grow. The potential to do that, transforming to become that. Purity, meaning that you are coming from a pure state of intent. Prosperity is watching that manifest in coming to your life and reaping the harvest. And good luck, good fortune is having that that sense of happiness and joy. So these are things that you probably need to look at when it comes to the inner child. Like, does your inner child feel that it has the potential to become or be this person that you're wanting to be? Like, because your mind might be with it, your spirit might be with it, but your inner child might be like, hold on, can we have a group meeting? Can we talk this out? I don't think that I can do this. You gotta pep talk yourself. You gotta go within the mind and reassure yourself Connect with spirit. Connect with your ancestors. Connect with your guides so they can help you get that security that you need, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's here. We have using this Mars energy to harness in this desire, this passion, this creativity. It might even be like your desires, is what did you want to do in your childhood? What did you want to be when you grew up? What were the things that you loved to do? Operating in the inner child is going to align all of this. Nurturing the inner child, and it could be like going painting, or writing a song, or going out for a walk, or playing jump rope, or doing if it seems kind of like actually that's childish, do it. Let your inner child live. Let your inner child live, okay? Okay, we're gonna do the work your light, and then we might do one more to close out. Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Whew. Double mission. So maybe what you're doing, like you already know what you're gonna be called to do, but like that double mission, like you here to do more than one thing. Yeah, and it's like operating in that. So remember what you always wanted to do and act on that. Uplifting yourself and also uplifting humanity. Then we got the initiation. We talked about that. Rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Yeah, it's time. It's time to awaken. And then we have Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, and teacher. Okay? So definitely with this double mission, this calling, right? I feel like we're going through the fire. If you don't, you might be experiencing the initiation now. And this is to get you to love yourself more, to devote yourself to yourself as well as spirit, your guides, your ancestors, to come into this form as a guru, in a sense, like a priestess to help people, right? A mystic to channel and get these downloads so you can connect with the earth, connect with spirit, connect with ancestors, so you know how to move, to use your intuition, and to teach others how to do so. So that way you can uplift the people that are called to this, or called to what you do. It does not have to be the occult. It doesn't have to be spirituality. It could be doing hair. It could be coding. It could be whatever it is that can help others around your community, around the world, to uplift themselves higher. That's the mission. We don't have to all do the same thing. If we were all doing the same thing, we would not have progressed as far as we have now. That's why everybody is different. Everybody is unique. Everybody serves a purpose. Everybody serves a purpose. So knowing what your purpose is what fuels you. Okay? Tapping into your desires. You may have multiple. How can you fuse these together and make them one to help others? Thinking about that. I love this for this Mars retrograde. Again, I know that it can be like inflamed type energy. Learning how to talk, learning how to speak, learning how to have those dealing with confrontation, having those those rough, and those hard talks. Dang, I'm gonna do the Rose Oracle since the Sisterhood of the Rose came up. That's a welcome card. All right. The Anointed. Answer the call. Leadership, empowerment, soul gifts. Your desires they're just not there for play. They're not just for play. Those your gifts. Tap into it. There ain't nothing but to do. You are anointed. You are anointed by God. Right? And if somebody has an issue with the word God, source, creator, okay? What else? The source, right? That's it. Maybe even reviewing your views on what God energy is, Christ consciousness is. I'm not saying Christ consciousness is God. I did not say that. God, Christ consciousness. So thinking about all of that, all right? And then we're going to get into the final message. I hope that you all enjoyed. I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful lesson learning Mars retrograde. And if you ever want to dive deeper into a certain situation, into your desires, into like finding your purpose and how you can go about going through your mission and what do you need to do in order to step into your authentic power, make sure you check out my website, msbotanica.com, and that way we can book a reading, or if you want to just simply talk, we can do that. And yeah, we'll have a good time. All right, final message. That was quick. Truth. Love it. It says, when everything is done as an offering, even the act of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Your words come from silence, not fear. You do the talking, dear Lord. Take me over and speak through me. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we need at this time for Mars retrograde, as Mars is in Gemini as far as communication and, the mind and all that stuff. I'm going to read this again. When everything is done as an offering, what you're doing, your desires, right? Your gifts, what you're being called to do, right? Even the act of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Your words come from silence, not fear. So when people are provoking you, when people are triggering you, especially when it comes to the inner child, these impulses, this inflamed sense of irritation, let God do the talking, right? You do the talking, dear Lord. Take me over and speak through me. The truth. And sometimes, guess what? The truth hurts. So I am not telling you to operate and play yourself small. Okay? If you process and you feel like, because this destructive energy, you can use it for your betterment, to rise to your power, not to disempower somebody, but to stand in your power and know your worth. Okay? So yes, operating in truth. I love that. And I am going to read the mistakes because I feel like we're going to need this too. It says, allow me to know it's okay to make mistakes. Let me always take care of the inner child so that he or she feels loved no matter what. There's going to be times where we're pulled, right? I think we talked about that, pulled in different directions on when to move. We might act on these impulses, or we think that, this is a good move, and, all money ain't good money, or all situations like that, ain't like that. And sometimes we have to test the waters and realize that, hey, this is just not for me. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to beat ourselves up about it. It's fine. Lesson learned. Okay? So, yes, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all have a wonderful time in this season. And make sure you hit me up. Follow me on social media too, Mystic Storm 333. And yeah, I'd love to connect with you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful season. And I will catch you in the next one. See ya.